We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my. The Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners.
To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing.
Going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw, pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30, Albert Begin, 20, 10, touchdown Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time, and the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Auburn on Sabu. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is going to bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's going to the end zone. It's cut for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about E.J. DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line. Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they fight him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Ninth. Wigmore now 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown Denver, they're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Zuli back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he brings it down. DC. Greg Corky.
They gotta pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Zuli's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
This Saturday night Simulation Football League showcase takes us to San Diego, a crucial showdown between two middle-of-the-pack teams that are looking to break away in the final few weeks before the playoffs. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Trick Jersey Stadium in San Diego, California, alongside producer extraordinaire Cameron Irvine, our statisticians Zach Haldorf and Ike McBride, and my partner, the Stephen Hacker. I'm Tim Hackett. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us. Hacker, Carolina's 4-4, San Diego's 5-4. These are two of the better teams in the SFL here in Week 11, but still, this feels like a must-win game for both teams.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are fighting for relevancy in that playoff picture, Tim. They're both on the outside kind of looking in as it sits right now, so this game has huge implications on how that playoff picture is going to shape out. Both of these teams have played some of the better teams in the SFL this season, Tim, but they've lost those games. So with both of these teams right there on the outside looking in at the playoffs, a win here could be huge as the playoff picture develops in the coming weeks.
Both have 4 losses this season, but most of those have been against, as you just said, Stephen, to some of the best and probably the best teams in the SFL. But conversely, there aren't many mega high-quality wins on the slate for either of these two teams. I think you can make the argument that either way, whoever wins this game, that'll be their best win of the season, and no matter how you slice it, it's the most important win of the season to date. Five and 4 San Diego against 4-4 Carolina. One of the best seasons in franchise history for both of these franchises. San Diego will get the ball first at home. Here we go. Final game of this Saturday night in the SFL. Turnable here for Dave Axis. And the Mavericks will start off from the 23. Well, the organization known as the San Diego Mavericks are under brand new ownership this season, and with the new ownership group, they evicted pretty much all the previous residents. There are only 4 players on this team that were on this roster a season ago. Brand new ownership, new coaching staff, almost an entirely new personnel group. One of the few holdovers is that guy, the quarterback Scar Patterson. 2 All-Star appearances in 2 seasons in the league and back for year number 3. He will throw it on first down into heavy traffic, and there were about 4 Mavericks there, Hacker, but almost all of them were on the offensive line at second down.
And San Diego wearing those Marine Corps dress blues tonight, a little bit of a special look for them. And as you said, Scar Patterson, definitely the captain of this team. He is the guy you look to for this offense and for this Mavericks team.
He's the only returner on offense, and to fill out the rest of the offense, they dipped heavily into free agency and into the local retirement homes. A lot of players that were not in the league last year, back in the league to join Scar Patterson on offense. And Patterson gets hit as he throws the rule of fumble, and it's loose and picked up by Carolina. San Diego couldn't hold on, and Carolina's got the loose change.
I think we're going to see a challenge flag come out, but as it sits right now, Carolina just took that one away. Oh.
Christopher Colon with the hits, Ryan Ray with the recovery. That's Lily Nakai, who went down to the ground to try to scoop it. She could not. And Ryan Ray, 5th season defensive end, picks up the ball, and here's the challenge. Like you said, Stephen, walk us through this one.
Yeah, and it looked like from that camera angle, it was, to me, it looked like a forward pass, but the camera angle didn't help a whole lot. Maybe this second one here, we'll get a good look at it. Definitely need to see if the ball's going to go forward here. Hit as he throw, yeah, it looks like that arm was going forward. Looks like the ball didn't go backwards. So I believe that should be marked as an incompletion here, Tim.
100% with you. I think it went close to a yard forward, to be honest. So Charles Doherty throws the challenge flag, and he is going to win the challenge on the second offensive play of the game, Stephen. Not quite the fireworks that Carolina had in the first couple of plays of their game last week against Arizona, which we'll talk a lot about, but very close to a game-changing play on the second play of the game.
Yeah, and that's what you expect from Carolina. You expect to see some craziness. They always seem to bring that out in their opponents.
Feels like they're often in games, even if historically they've usually lost games. This season, very different. And so on third down, Patterson will heave it down the left sideline, and that is what Scar Patterson can do about as well as anybody in the SFL. That's a big gain on third down to B. Robo, one of the many offseason acquisitions who's working on another fantastic season, a gain of 27.
Yeah, it looked like Carolina might have just been kicking themselves from the previous play. They have to stay in it. That was a critical third down moment for them to get San Diego off the field, and just had a little bit of a brain lapse.
Early crisis averted is right. So midfield stripe. Patterson throws right into traffic again, and that was risky. Danny Stinson, the middle linebacker, with the pass breakup. Here is the offense for San Diego and offensive coordinator Charles Doherty. Patterson is the quarterback. Sudo Nakai is the tailback. Mateo Privado is the fullback. Wide receivers, Eagle Mondavi, Dave Axis, B. Robo, and Lili Nakai. The pair of tight ends, Benji Matson and Adam Williams. Very different looking San Diego offense, but still a solid one, though perhaps not as electric as it was a season ago. Second down, quick throw, immediate throw really from Patterson, and right on the money for Robo. A gain of 13, he's got 40 yards on 2 grabs.
And that's what you expect from your number one wide receiver. And when you have a quarterback, a gunslinger like Scar Patterson, you want to be that number one wide receiver. You know you're going to get the volume. And B. Robo, as long as you keep moving the chains, you're going to keep getting the volume.
Over 800 receiving yards now, and on pace for over 1,000 yards for the 3rd straight season. Quick sling from Patterson. Out of the flats they go. That is Mateo Privado, one of the most used fullbacks in the league. We will see a heavy dose of fullback in this game, Steven. Not a common trait across the SFL, but for these two teams, yeah.
Yeah, not only Privado is going to get a lot of love, but on the other side for Carolina, Hattori Hanzo is going to get quite a few targets and carries as well.
Privado just south of 50 carries, Hanzo just north of 50 carries on the season. Loss of 1 there, Privado, and Patterson will fling it up, and it's hauled in by Robo again. What a throw by Patterson, and Robo is cooking his 3rd catch of the first drive.
And absolutely dominating this first drive, and just keep going his way. I think the Mavericks have found something there on that corner route on the left side of the screen, and it's absolutely working to perfection right now.
A gain of 28 after his first went for 27. That's crazy. So first down and not quite goal to go. First down is on the half-yard line. First running play of the day for Sudo Nakai, who spent last season as the running back for Carolina. Very much a journeyman running back, former fullback, and a former standout in this league. Formerly of Lone Star, then last year with Carolina, and now playing against his former team. And of course, Carolina supplants Sudo Nakai with another former Lone Star running back, Ike McBride, who we'll talk about. Gain of 3 on the ground for Nakai on his first carry. So split backs for Patterson and 3 wides. He will throw, sidearm sling, and knocked away. One-on-one coverage on this near side, going for Dave Axis. And great coverage by Lincoln Kingseed as well as Tristan Hatley.
Yeah, Tristan Hatley did a really good job covering there for the slots defensive back there, was playing down on the line, and the receiver was able to get a nice break. And if Tristan Hatley hadn't came down and collapsed on the ball like that, probably was an easy pitch and catch.
Patterson is 5 of his first 9 for about 70 yards. They'll spread it out on 3rd and 7. Remember, they can still get a first down inside the 1. He will loft it to the back of the end zone, over triple coverage. Patterson finds his target. It's Dave Axis, and San Diego strikes first on the first drive of the game.
Oh, Captain, my Captain, what a dot that was. Eagle Mondavi, the recipient of a beautiful throw right over the top of the defense. Couldn't have been any better ball placement. What a way to start the game for Scar Patterson.
You're right, Mondavi 14, not 19. Another one of the formerly retired squad back in action here in the SFL this season, and the Eagle has officially landed. They stole my line from me because I butchered it myself. Another touchdown for Mondavi, just his 2nd this season in game number 10 for San Diego. What an opening drive for Patterson. Doesn't matter, he finds just about everybody. And the PAT from Prince Beard is up and good. What a start for the Mavs.
Really impressive. I mean, I don't expect much running game from the Mavericks, but when your quarterback comes out throwing the way that he's throwing, having that kind of confidence here at home, that's exactly what you want to see from your quarterback in these big games. This is like a mock playoff game for these two teams, and so you want your quarterback to come out swinging like that.
Just about to get to it. 10 plays, 77 yards. Only a couple of runs. Scar Patterson marches the troops down the field on this Naval Marine Corps night for San Diego, and a good start for them against another team that tries to dominate the air, Carolina. Skyhawks versus Mavericks. We expect a lot of runs for Carolina comparatively, Stephen. They do not throw it very much, and Matt South is back under center for Carolina. He left last week early in a storyline that is now famous across the SFL, threw just 5 passes before he left the game with an injury, and Carolina still almost came back and knocked off one-loss Arizona. So South will throw it on his first play, and it's a nice link up out to Xavier Solomon, who's the number 2 tight end in this Carolina offense.
And I do expect to see, Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo kind of shoulder the load here as when you have a dominant running back like Ike McBride. I think it's smart to let the running back take the brunt of the work and use your quarterback in a way that's more, not say a game manager, but when you have a running back that can handle, 30 carries a game, I don't see why you would want to go away from that.
South will throw for the second time. Nice link up and a first down for Carolina. To your point, Stephen, South is 27th in the league in attempts, 26th in completions, and 24th in yards. He's always been one of the lowest usage quarterbacks in the SFL, but he's working on one of the best seasons of his career. Now, his numbers are dipped because he did not play the full game last week. There's no question about that, but even still, his numbers this season are some of the best he's ever had. First down here for Carolina. South will throw again, right on target. Harish Prasad across midfield, and a first down for the Skyhawks and a gain of 15.
And still looking good. I mean, these are the kinds of throws, if you ask me, this is what you want Matt South to be doing. Quick reads, throwing right across the middle there. Your best receiver, one of your best receivers, Harish Prasad, is going to be right there, sure-handed across the middle. Those are the kinds of throws for Matt South that you want to see. Save Ike McBride as you get closer to the SFL red zone. Let her pound it in and get those points for you.
Closer to a gain of 17 after that spot, and Carolina swiftly across the midfield line. South will throw it again. It's Solomon again, so we still haven't seen Ike McBride, Stephen. That's the second catch for Xavier Solomon, who was Carolina's first-round pick, 4th overall selection in this season's SFL draft. He only had 11 catches before today, and he's got 2 on this first drive.
I think they're just trying to build up the confidence with Matt South. These are just, quick timing routes. Get some quick completions in and have your quarterback feeling good to start the ball game.
Throw it again. Lofts it right seam. Too much on that one and nearly picked off. Going for Heath McDaniel Jr., who's been their best wide receiver this season. Pretty good coverage, but too much on it. Zach Haldorf gets the breakup.
Yeah, and went 15 yards down the field, in the air on that, and a little bit more risky, and not, if you're asking me, not exactly where I'd want my quarterback to try to throw the ball in this offense. Again, Mike McBride without a carry so far, and I'm kind of questioning why not yet.
She won't get one here on 3rd and 8. First third down for Carolina. They've been good on these this year, and that's why. A dot from South again. He links up with his top tight end, Vince DeSantis, has his first catch, working on a career season for him as well, and another Skyhawk first down.
Much more comfortable on these, 7 to 10 yard throws, delivering absolute strikes, and moving the Skyhawks down the field.
Gain of 15 for DeSantis. Close to 350 receiving yards this season and 4 touchdowns. Had just 6 in his career prior to this season. South high throw, caught again immediately though. That's McDaniel Jr. with that catch. Here is the rest of the Carolina offense. South is the quarterback. Ike McBride is the tailback. Hattori Hanzo the fullback. Wide receivers, Heath McDaniel Jr., Chase Earl, and Harish Prasad. Tight ends, Vince DeSantis and Xavier Solomon. You've heard from both of them already. And the offensive line is anchored by rookie undrafted free agent Chris Cross, who suits up on the left side of the line. Gain of 4 for McDaniel on his first grab. So here is the first run of the day for Ike McBride, a true bulldozer. And that's what she can do. First down on the ground and a gain of 6.
Yeah, Ike McBride took on 3 Maverick defenders there and then somehow still ended up falling on her face, and all the Maverick defenders were on their butts. I mean, she's just an absolute bulldozer, a wrecking ball there in the middle.
Close to 700 rushing yards now on this season. Shirley will go over that tonight, and on pace for 1,000 yards this year as well. They'll run it, and that'll hurt that pace. Great work by the San Diego defense. Rylan Caudill, the former Carolina Skyhawk with the TFL.
And see, that's what it takes. You got to have the big bodies there. Rylan Caudill, 6'7", 350 pounds, and it takes that kind of momentum to slow down a great running back like Ike McBride.
Another former offensive lineman and another former member of the Lone Star Glory playing in this game. There are many. Loss of one for Ike. South steps up and goes down. More good pressure from San Diego. Eric Hammer with the hits. His 6th sack this season, and the former linebacker with a career season in his new role.
Yeah, and absolutely just too much athleticism there from number 99, getting around the edge, applying that pressure on Matt South immediately.
He had 6.5 sacks in his career before this season, and now he's got 6 this year alone. 3rd and 13, South steps up, throws right on target. First down, Skyhawks. South has been lethal on this possession. Down the depth chart they go. Nice pickup for Carolina, for Ash Ketchup, and it's 1st and goal.
Yeah, Ketchup stepping up really big right there as Matt South was feeling the pressure, had to go through all of the progressions and just saw Ketchup down the field, put it right where it needed to be, and Skyhawks inside the 5-yard line.
This is prime McBride territory, right?
No, I don't look anywhere else besides 34.
Hanzo will pave the way. They will hand it off. McBride jumps up and is hog-tied from behind. Needed about 2 yards, gets maybe 1. Great hit at 2nd down.
And that's good defense from the Mavericks. Everybody on the field knows where the ball's going to go, especially Nate Hall getting in there to make that tackle. But if I'm Carolina, I'm not discouraged. I line up and I run it again. I give it right back to 34.
Another former member of Lone Star now in the San Diego defense, Nate Hall. They will run it. McBride, 2nd time's the charm. Ike McBride gets it done, and Carolina marches down the field and scores on their first possession. Touchdown number 7 for Ike.
And that's what you needed from your offense. And Matt South, did take some risky throws there, but I think they had a clear game plan there. Is they want Matt South to build up some confidence. They don't want it to be all on the legs of Ike McBride. I think that they're going to try to use Matt South in this game to get them past the 50. And then once they get past the 50, they're going to use a fresh Ike McBride to finish the job off. And if I'm Carolina, I have to love that. I have to love what I saw on my first offensive possession.
South 7 of 8 on that possession. Carolina converted 2 third downs. That's not a surprise. They've been really good on third downs this year. They converted 60%. That's top 5 in the league, but neither of those third downs were easy, and South looked great on that first possession, save for the one time that he got hit, which does not happen very often.
Yeah, South has been sacked only 7 times this season. That's 3rd least in the SFL. So the Skyhawks offensive line does a great job keeping that jersey clean.
We're under set at 57.5, and these two teams both 1 for 1 on their first possessions. Dave Axis, he's an electric guy. Doesn't have a touchdown today, unlike what was said earlier, but has another mediocre return, and San Diego will start off their second drive from pretty much the same place as their first drive. It's a weird look for San Diego to be a middling offense. They're 5-4 this year and pretty much league average at everything. They're 13th this season in passing yards. Last season they were 1st in the league. This season they're 15th in rushing yards. Last year they were last in the league. This season pretty much middle of the pack in just about everything. First down for Scar Patterson, flips it out. Nakai out of the backfield with the sidestep and a gain of 7 for Pseudo Nakai.
And really just kind of go back to the last point, Tim, as a team, being a co-coach and stuff like that for a team, it can take some time, whenever you make schematic adjustments like that. They clearly wanted to go away from just a complete, passing attack, and they wanted to try to get a running game a little bit more balanced and involved. And when you have that, you suffer a little bit in terms of trying to figure things out. So, San Diego is one of those teams, with new ownership, new coaches. Sorry to go so long-winded on this, but it's just one of those things that whenever you put the game plan in, sometimes it doesn't. You have to learn the intricacies of it sometimes, and I think that's where San Diego is this season.
2 on the ground there for Nakai, hit by Kingseed, but you're 100% right. I mean, they were never, you would assume, they were not going to keep up that record-setting pace that they had last season, especially with new ownership and a brand new cast of targets for Patterson, but it's just interesting to see them surface to league average in every way. Third down, fullback dive, Mateo Privado, and he's got the first down. We mentioned these two teams use the fullbacks extremely well, Stephen. First run of the day for a fullback, and Privado provides.
Yeah, Privado averaging 3 yards this season per carry, and that's a lot more. That's a healthy gain there, and that's a sure way to continue to get involved in the game plan. When your coach sees that you're able to knock off some big chunk plays, you're going to get that call a little bit more often.
Unofficially a gain of 9 on 3rd and 1 for Privado. San Diego will pack it in on offense. Carolina counters with 7 in the box. They show rush. Nakai on the carry. Not much there. Maybe a gain of 1, hit by Mojo McClain. Here is the Carolina defense for Harish Prasad, who runs the show. On the line, it's Ryan Ray, Christopher Colon, Phil Hall, and DJ Majesty. Linebackers, Danny Stinson, Mojo McClain, and Shravan Prasad. Cornerbacks, Tristan Hatley, Skippy Curtis, and Davidson Joseph. And in the secondary, Monte Wyatt, Lincoln Kinseed, and E. Barry, Amen Eaglin. Another great throw from Patterson, and guess who? It's B. Robo with it. I'll take that back. It's Lili Nakai, 89, not 80. My batting average low today, Steven, and it's Nakai with a nice catch and another San Diego first down.
And this is rare form for Tim Hackett today to be 0 for 2 like that. That's just what is going on right now, Tim. I expect so much more from you.
I do too.
Hey, there's just a couple of hacks in the booth tonight. Don't worry about it. We're all good.
That was good.
Thank you, sir.
You're off to a better start than me. 1 minute left in the first quarter. There's a dive up the middle and not much there for a difference running back for San Diego. That's Brent Trickle, who is their number 2 running back. So we see a lot of Nakai. We see a lot of Privado. That time we don't see either of them, and it goes for a gain of 1. Right back to the line they go. Carolina once again will pack the line. They have struggled to defend the run this year, have the Skyhawks. So Privado gets the give, and Privado gets maybe 3. So back to par for the course for Privado this season. Nice tackle by Mojo McClain, rookie second-round pick. Mentioned Carolina has struggled against the run. They are the 3rd worst rush defense this season. They allow 112 yards per game. San Diego's just 15th on offense, so we'll see if the Mavericks can exploit that. They will snap it with 1 second left. Patterson lofts it up, looking for Axis. That is Axis that time into triple coverage, and Carolina was ready for it. That is the most unique name in the league, E. Barry Amen England, the second-round rookie with the pass breakup, and it's 4th down for San Diego. What a first quarter. We've seen just about everything. Not a surprise with these two teams on tap. San Diego 7, Carolina 7. This is the SFL presented by 8 p.m. Music, live on YouTube. Happy to have you with us tonight. It's a stat sheet showdown. Carolina versus San Diego. Ike McBride and Zach Haldorf. Tim Hackett and Stephen Hacker. The Hack Attack is back. I stole Stephen's line for him. We're in the booth. Cameron Irvine producing and working hard behind the scenes. Thanks for joining us. Punt away from San Diego. High hang time, and the Mavericks will field it but run into the end zone. That was potentially a brilliant change of events for San Diego, but Stuart Zomelia, Steven, not able to complete the play.
Yeah, punt just a little bit too deep, and not enough room for the gunner there to corral it, and unfortunately ends up just a touchback for the Skyhawks. They're going to get the ball here at their own 20.
Well, in all honesty, in a lot of seasons before, a Saturday night showdown between Carolina and San Diego, Steven, again, to be brutally honest, probably wouldn't have turned a lot of heads, but this season, I think that's totally different. This is one of the most interesting matchups on this week's slate, as Harish Prasad has a gain of 5. Carolina's 5-4, Carolina's 4-4, San Diego is 5-4, so neither of these two teams would be in the playoffs if it started this week, but I think with a loss today, whoever loses this game is out of the playoffs for good. Not mathematically, obviously, with only 5 losses, but the hill gets extremely steep in the SFL these days. Even with 5 losses, it would be really tough for either of these teams to overcome that. There's a great run for Carolina, their best of the day. First down, Skyhawks, courtesy of Hattori Hanzo.
Yeah, Hanzo going to be another bruiser for the Skyhawks. And when you have just a 1-2 punch and all it is just heavy-handed runners, that's a tough task for the defense. You can really wear down the opposing team when you have two just hard-hitting running backs.
Gain of 6 for Hanzo. Doesn't average a lot, but is used quite a bit to spell Ike McBride. South will toss it this way, a little bit behind his target, but it's hauled in anyway by Harish Prasad, who's got another nice gain, give him 7. Not a surprise to see. Go ahead, Steven, sorry.
No, I didn't have a whole lot to offer there. I was just going to say both teams right now sitting at 5 first downs, Carolina now with 6 first downs gained, San Diego with 5.
Good start for Prasad, who's really taken a step back on purpose in this offense to allow some other players some chances to shine. South hit as he throws, lofts it up, and it's ripped down by DeSantis. Somehow that pass was caught. I have no idea how South got that off, but it's another first down for Carolina, like you just said.
Yeah, and again, South going with these quicker throws, not looking down the field very far, just short, intermediate throws, and I think that's a smart recipe for the Skyhawks. Let their quarterback just get the ball out of his hands quickly and let the weapons make plays.
South is 10 of his first 11, but only for 86 yards. Exactly to your point. The yards per attempt not very high. No look throw, and throws it between a pair of defenders, I should say, and Prasad was there, but the pass was not caught.
Yeah, and San Diego is kind of cramming down into those shorter areas. As you see, South tried to squeeze that one in between 2 Maverick defenders, and a little bit of a tough throw. Prasad had to really concentrate to bring that one in. Unfortunately, couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, had the ball in his hands, but he's crammed down by Leon Thunderman. You see him there, 51 in the San Diego blue. That forces the breakup. Just the second incompletion for South. One he should have had. McBride on the carry, and McBride gets hit behind the line. Great hit again by San Diego. Here is the rest of the Maverick defense for Mike O'Neill, who runs the show here this year. On the line, it's Biff Markham, Eric Hammer, and the Caudills, Rylan and Bobo. The linebackers, Freddie Trammell, Leon Thunderman, and Jeff Gagne. Cornerbacks, Tanya Hendricks, Pink Lisa, Tom Krieg, and Stuart Zomelia. And the safeties are Nate Hall and Zach Haldorf. Another third down in double digits for Carolina. South has time and will throw it short. Pass is caught and spinning around after he makes the catch to turn that into a short gain, but I was doomed from the start, Steven. It's Chase Earl's first catch of the game. He's had a great season, but nothing there.
And a gamble on the outside as that was well covered. The defender just missed it, and Earl was able to bring it in, even though the pass was well short of the first down marker. I thought that one was going the other way, Tim.
I did too. Carolina will take a gain of 3. High snap, and here comes the punt from Grande. Fair catch is called for, made by Axis, and San Diego survives. If you're new to the SFL, this is the Simulation Football League. It combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game all into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website, www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, it's football for everyone. San Diego, as we say, taking that to heart. Football for everyone, a brand new looking offense after they set some records on offense a season ago. Fullback dive, Mateo Privado, not much doing for him there, but there are so many people that followed the former Lone Star brass over here to San Diego since they took over this team in the offseason, Steven, a franchise that you know well. You know a lot of these people well, and brand new states, brand new uniforms, a lot of new personnel for these folks to work with, and so far so good, though not so great necessarily, as Privado gets a gain of 1. What do you make of what you've seen from San Diego this year?
Well, I think if I'm San Diego, I have to feel confident about my future in the SFL, how things are going. When you kind of, as you said, wash the slate, you kind of start with a fresh slate and you come out and you're kind of right there in the playoff picture. You have to feel confident with that. And kudos to their organization, their front office for such good success this far in the season.
Here's a 3rd and 8 for Patterson. He throws it on line. Somehow it is caught. That is Robo on the catch. That is his 4th catch of this first half, and another Maverick first down.
and Robo is just absolutely dominating on these routes. Monte Wyatt in coverage, and Monte Wyatt's no slouch in coverage. It can definitely take the ball away, but B Robo is just one of those receivers that in those one-on-one matchups, it's not a 50-50 ball. It's B Robo's ball.
No kidding. One of the top wide receivers in the league again, top 15 in everything, as Pravado is able to dive forward for a gain of about 3. Robo top 15 in catches, yards, touchdowns, and targets. He's now over 100 targets on the season, and he's likely to hit 1,000 yards for the 3rd straight season, and he's close to 5,000 yards now in his career, about 300 yards short of that career milestone. Not likely we'll see that today, but very likely that we'll have a chance to see it before the end of this season, knowing what he can do. 2nd down, bluff play action. Sidearm sling, Patterson lofts it up, and it's brought down once again. Another dime for Patterson. Benji Matson has his first catch, and what a season he's having.
And Patterson really starting to feel comfortable. Plenty of time to throw, and just absolutely delivers a dime. That's a throw that he could make in his sleep, and just continuing to move the ball down the field for the Mavericks.
Well, San Diego, in building that brand new roster, raided a ton of targets. The retirement home, Lone Star, Carolina, and London. Benji Matson, one of the former London Knights that are on this team. His first carry, his first gain, and now another carry for Pseudo Nakai, and a hop step and a gain of 9+ for Pseudo. What a run.
Yeah, and when you're that low to the ground, you're able to change directions really quickly, and Pseudo did a phenomenal job there of making a move and then bursting up the field, getting 9 yards on that one.
Nice way to kindly call him small.
Yeah, hey, small in stature, but mighty in heart.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that comment. From the 26, Patterson will throw on 2nd and inches, passes behind his target. That's Adam Williams, but it's caught for a 1st down. So both tight ends have catches on this drive. Williams, another former member of the Lone Star Glory, had been out of the league for a little bit, but a 2-time All-Star. Not a big season for him here. He's kind of way down the totem pole in terms of passing targets, but he's got a catch here and another 1st down for the Mavs. Split backs from the 24. Patterson hands it off. A bruising run and a nice one for Pravado. Interesting setup, and it works for a gain of 7.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with how large Mateo Pravado is and how well he's able to move, and he's really looked impressive. It's been a really nice change of pace with Pseudo and Pravado. It's been really nice.
Nice. That's a kind way of calling him big. You're just on a roll today.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you're calling me judgmental here, and I don't know. You're pinning me.
I don't think it's judgmental. You're just evaluating. And here's an evaluation. That run was terrible. Blown up for a loss of about 3, and that was generous. Carolina was all over it. DJ Majesty has not had a big season. One of the most veteran players in the SFL. He's all over that one.
Big 3rd down right here, Tim.
No doubt. From the 20-yard line. Nakai alone in the backfield. Don't see that too much. Patterson will throw with 5 wide. Lofts it up towards the marker. Catch is made, but short of the 1st down. Eagle Mandavi, who had the touchdown catch earlier, and he's right at that magic yellow line. He'll say he's short.
And that's so tough.
Wow. So Carolina is throwing the challenge flag. That's Harish Prasad, their head coach. Interesting. So challenging if he caught the ball in bounds, I guess, Stephen?
Yes, that they're definitely looking to see if that foot was in bounds. And we'll see on this replay here. I thought first glance he had it. We'll see. Looks foot down. Oh, it may come down to possession. It may come down to possession.
San Diego wanted a challenge too, as they were sure that it was a 1st down. I thought they had a claim. And Carolina's going to lose the challenge, so both rulings have gone in favor of San Diego, so it will be a catch, but you can't review 2 things at once. So, honestly, I don't know if this is gamesmanship from Carolina, but maybe it is, because now San Diego can't challenge the spot.
That would be a very interesting chess strategy for sure. It's a race for the red flag. Who can throw it out on the field first?
Very good. 4D chess from Harish Prasad, or maybe we're giving him too much credit. and he calls me a hater. So they
He
will
can never get too much credit.
So they will have to kick it on 4th and inches. They will kick it, and it has been a journey for San Diego in the special teams game this season, but Prince Beard says so much for that. He is 7 of 12, now 8 of 13 on field goal kicks this season. Last in the league in field goal makes and the worst field goal percentage in the SFL as well, but not there. He hits and San Diego takes the lead. An impressive bounce back for San Diego. Both teams score on their first possessions, do not score on their second. And now the Mavs right back into it. Here's Prasad, who had a kick return touchdown to start the game last week against Arizona, and a nice return for him there. For the first time tonight, let's go to Cameron Irvine. He's got a game break.
Thanks, Tim. For the second time tonight in the end zone, Cyrus Jive is picked off, this time by Ethan Kai, and the Seattle Nemesis on the road are trying to bury Portland's playoff chances. 10-3 Nemesis in the third. Back to you in San Diego.
Cam, thanks very much. Matt South right back to work. His throw is caught somehow through heavy traffic. What a grab by Heath McDaniel Jr., who's had a great season.
And again, Matt South is really cooking on these routes about 10 yards down the field. 3-step drop, find your target, and get the ball out of your hands. And it's looking really good for the Skyhawks.
Nice gain for McDaniel Jr. Give him 12. Close to 700 receiving yards now this season. South's throw swatted away behind his target, way behind his target. It's Freddie Trammell on the breakup, and there's a man down. It's Prasad. Prasad is down again for Carolina. They've got to be sick of seeing this.
And he was jammed at the line. The defender had his hands on him, and it looked like he kind of stumbled. Yeah, no hands on him, just a non-contact injury there. Tried to break on the route. I thought he got jammed, and that's what led to the stumble. But it's just an absolute non-contact injury. That is not good for Carolina right now, Tim.
No doubt about it. It did not look good at all. And again, famously, Carolina, they would argue, famous for having injuries all the time, but the most famous injury this season, losing their quarterback, Matt South, nearly impossible for a team to overcome that in this league, and they almost did. So South with a quick throw, not much there for Chase Earl, a gain of 3. And, I mean, look, Steven, again, teams struggle to win games even with their starting quarterback, even against possibly the best team in the league in Arizona last week. And Carolina didn't have their quarterback for more than 3 quarters in that game, and they still took the Scorpions to the wire. That would have been, I think, the most impressive win that I've ever seen, given a lot of circumstances. Unfortunately, it will be just another moral victory for Carolina. They're sick of those. South on the run, throws into triple coverage. That could have been picked. He's lucky it wasn't, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on the moral victories. And, at a certain point, those they become worthless, and you want an actual, some substance. And I definitely think that's right where Carolina is. They just have to be saying, when does it stop? You know what I mean? Like we've paid our dues in terms of bad things happening to us, and and just even if you want to narrow it down to just Harish Prasad, I mean, there's so many things that have happened to his player in the course of these games, and the big games too. It's the games that you want your player on the field, just somehow seems to find his way off of it.
They punted away at the 2-minute warning, and San Diego with a 10-7 lead. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. This is possibly, Steven, we've got a few more games left, 3 more after this one for the Skyhawks, but possibly the best team in Carolina Skyhawk franchise history, at least the most successful. They're close to it. 7 wins is the franchise record. They have a very good chance of equaling or surpassing that.
Oh, no.
And here's Patterson with a dot. B. Robo in stride, a step behind the defense, and 2 Skyhawks chasing, and they won't be able to catch up. A bomb from Patterson, just like he used to do. And his new targets joining the party. Robo has his 9th touchdown this season.
And the reaction from Joseph and Wyatt in the end zone at the end of that play. It's what every Carolina fan, player, it's what everybody, if you're rooting for Carolina, it's how you feel right now. And that was just an absolute step on the throat moment from Scar Patterson and B Robo to come out whenever, the star player from Carolina goes down and they say, you know what, let's go for 6 right here, right now. And then to execute like that, that's just an absolute gut punch moment. Just rip their hearts out.
Just a couple of plays after Harish Prasad goes down with the injury. Patterson to Robo for 71 yards, 9th touchdown this season, a new career high for Robo. Seems to set personal best seasons on end the last couple of campaigns here in the SFL, and San Diego stretches the lead out to 10. What a bomb from Patterson. 200 yards now on 12 completions. Been same as it ever was for Patterson. He's on pace for only about, 3,500 passing yards this season, which would be the lowest that he's ever had. Most quarterbacks would kill for a 3,500 passing yard season. I know Matt Southwood, he's hardly ever had that in his career. Nice hit on special teams. Remember, Prasad is hurt, so Carolina's going to go with Ash Ketchup, who had that first down catch earlier in this game, returning kicks. But more on Patterson. I mean, this could be the lowest volume season of his career, and he's still having an excellent season.
Yeah, and to say low volume, I mean, only been in the SFL 3 seasons, right, and it's already eclipsed the 12,000-yard passing mark. So, I think he's doing just fine.
Came into today with a quarterback rating of about 90. Today it's 150. South will throw. Chase Earl has his second catch and a gain of 5. There's the update on Harish Prasad. So very good news for Carolina and for their brass. Questionable to return their number 3 wideout.
Yeah, Carolina investing heavily into Chiquita bananas right now as they're just absolutely, pounding Harish with bananas from the sideline right now.
I don't know if we have a sponsorship from them yet, but we're trying very hard.
On every angle.
I think Carolina took a timeout there, by the way, after the gain of 5. South will throw wide open on this near side. That's DeSantis, the tight end, where he accelerates and is tackled out of bounds by Nate Hall. A brilliant catch and run for a tight end.
And that's what the Skyhawks are going to have to do. They're going to have to look elsewhere, and the other receivers from the Skyhawks are going to have to step up, and that's a great play from DeSantis to get down the field.
20 yards on that catch, longest today for Carolina. Look at the numbers there for Matt South. He's been rock solid in this game. Comes into today with a quarterback rating 88.9. That would be a career high. Previous career high was 88.3 in his best season. First down run for McBride and only a gain of about 2. Clock running here with 90 seconds.
If I'm Carolina, I don't try to turn up the pace at all. You've got 2 timeouts. As you said, 90 seconds, plenty of time to move down the field. I don't want to rush at all here.
I'm with you. That's why I thought the timeout on the first play of this drive was a little bit of a quick trigger, but seemed to work. 68 seconds.
Playing into your hands.
No doubt. Yeah, look at all the space. South, quick throw. Quick out for Earl. Another quick catch and another quick hit after that catch. Short gain, now under a minute left in the half. South right back to the line. Another quick out, another quick catch. That's McDaniel. Hit immediately, though. First down, Carolina. That's Tanner Hendricks on the hits. 40 seconds left. Skyhawks marching on. South holds onto it. Lofts it up. Nice catch. And another gain of about 7 for the Skyhawks. That's
maybe
catch
one more
up.
play, Tim.
I think that's catch up on that catch again. San Diego can't catch up to him. Another quick outs. Carolina's working this, and McDaniel has the catch, and he's tackled out of bounds again. This is a brilliant 90-second drive.
And that was a huge effort from McDaniel to fight forward and then drag himself out of bounds to stop the clock. He saved that timeout that you might have had to use there. So great job by McDaniel to get out of bounds and give the Skyhawks a chance to huddle back up.
Fourth catch of this game for Heath McDaniel Jr. and Carolina on the fringes of the red zone. They've only had to use 1 timeout. Both tailbacks are back in. They will throw it this way. Earl has the catch, and he gets out of bounds. Now, the chat reminding me, Steven, remember this. Carolina used a challenge earlier, and they failed. So, actually, I believe they're right. Should be 1 timeout left for Carolina if my math is correct.
That would be correct. Yes.
What do you know? I'll chalk it up as another hit to my batting average in this game. Gain of 7 there for Earl. He's been the master of these short yard catches, averaging 4.2 yards per catch. Here's the run. McBride, nothing doing. San Diego has stopped her up, and there is the timeout. Well, shows what the heck we know. That's an official breakdown. 1 timeout left for Carolina despite that challenge.
So we missed something somewhere, but officially there it is. One timeout remaining for the Skyhawks, and 13 seconds before the half, Tim. Yeah, I think
time to kick it.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning. I think you fought. You put up a good fight there with little time, and you made your way downfield. Just close the gap before the half. You don't need to do anything crazy risky. I think a throw down the field at this point is just it's too much of a throw for Matt South.
There's Malone Brown for the field goal. Relative chip shot, no problem for him from 32 yards. He's now 11 of 13, beg your pardon, on field goals this season. And Carolina does convert with a few seconds left. I mean, at first bluff, that might be a bad beat for Carolina. It looked like they might have had some more time. They kick it early, but again, to me, they probably shouldn't have any timeouts left, so you don't have any choice. Can't imagine they might stop the clock again. So at some point, you just got to take some free points. And that's what they do. Solid sophomore season for Malone Brown. And he will kick it off for Dave Axis. Short kick, returnable here for San Diego. And not much there for Axis, who nearly loses the ball. The SFL convention is coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, July 28th through the 30th for Season 21 kickoff weekend. For room reservation details and the weekend schedule, see the #convention alerts channel in the SFL Discord server. Rooms are going fast. Reserve your special group rate today, and we'll see you there. 5 seconds left, Steven. How exotic does San Diego get?
If I'm San Diego, I just run. I just try to protect my lead. I don't want anything adverse to happen to me here.
We know they can go deep. Patterson will shot put it forward, and the catch is made. And going out of bounds with a second left is Robo, his 6th catch of this first half. And San Diego has one more chance.
And that's exactly the kind of play that if a cornerback jumps it, ends up being a pick 6. But, again, San Diego wants to take their chances, move the ball down the field. By all means, if that's what Scar Patterson wants to do, go for it. But if it's me, I would have tried to run it there.
You've got a ton of former number 1 wideouts on this team. Mondavi, Axis, and Robo are all on this roster. But they will run it on the last play of the half, and nothing doing for Pseudo Nakai. It's been tough sledding, more or less, for these two running backs. Good hit by Mojo McClain, who's had a brilliant day, and that is the end of the first half. A must-win game for both teams, and San Diego has the edge. Mavs 17, Skyhawks 10 at halftime. Gold Star Memorial Field at Trick Jersey Stadium in San Diego, California on this SFL Saturday night. Happy to have you with us. Alongside Stephen Hacker, I'm Tim Hackett. Ike McBride and Zach Haldorf, Cameron Irvine alongside us as well. Thanks for joining us. Look at the stat breakdown, Stephen. Yardage edge heavily in favor of San Diego. That's catch-up again on this return. So if you're just joining us, Harish Prasad injured. What else is new, say the Carolina fans? And out for right now, questionable to return, but not in right now. It's catch-up returning the kicks for Carolina.
And to start the second half, I think the Skyhawks would be really wise to try to find a way to get 34 going. Ike McBride, only 17 rushing yards in the first half. That's pretty tough.
South will pass it. McBride gets the catch and can't break out of the tackle. Nicely done. Freddie Trammell wrenches her down. The team's leader in tackles before today, the former veteran middle linebacker of Lone Star. And we've got a penalty. First penalty of the game, offside against San Diego. I didn't even see that happen, Stephen, and Biff Markham is called for the infraction.
Yeah, just try to get a little bit of a head start on that play, and caught him moving across the line there. But you love to see Ike McBride out there with the head of steam. But Freddie Trammell did an absolutely phenomenal job with that open field tackle.
Nice penalty for Carolina. Instead of 2nd and 7, it'll be 1st and 5. They'll run it. McBride. Not much doing there for McBride. And again, tough sledding for these two running backs. Nakai unofficially in that first half, 6 carries for 8 yards. McBride now 8 carries for 12. So a combined 20 rushing yards for these two running backs. You throw in what the two fullbacks have done, and the two teams are still about 50 combined rushing yards in that first half, which is nuts. South will throw wide open out of the backfield. It's McBride. She accelerates, blows through a defender, and gets the first down. Nate Hall will clean it up, but McBride, just as effective catching the ball as she is running, she leaves a defender in her wake.
Yeah, it looked like she was running through a sheet of paper there. Almost did not feel any of the impact there on the first point of contact. Absolutely phenomenal run after catch there.
And it's not even a stack in paper for Baltimore, for San Diego. 2 in the backfield for South. Quickly toss it out this way. Chase Earl has another catch. His longest catch today has gone for 6 yards. That one will go for 5, so 7 catches for 30 yards. The master of the short catch in this game. He's been good this season. He set career highs last season in catches, yards, and touchdowns with Louisiana. Follows that up with a nice season so far here in his first year with Carolina. But a high volume, high usage, low volume start for Earl here. And talking about low volume, that's the day for Ike McBride. Woof.
It has been. It has been very, very tough getting things going on the ground. And a big credit to the front 7 of the Mavericks is, both their defensive tackles weighing in at 350 pounds. So the middle of that Mavericks defense is toting around 700 pounds, and that's tough to get anything going. There's little to no line movement at all for the Skyhawks offensive line.
We'll run it again. Not much doing there. You mentioned those 2 defensive tackles for San Diego. They're Rylan and Bobo Caudill, and they know Ike McBride very well, but not because they played together in Carolina. This is Ike's first year with Carolina. The Caudills were both on Carolina last year. They did not overlap there, but they, of course, did overlap back in Lone Star. They were both on the same team there for a couple of seasons, so they do know each other very well. Some of those guys used to block for Ike McBride when they were on the offensive line for the Glory. Another punt, and breaking out of the first return is Dave Axis. He's had a really good year returning punts, has Dave Axis, and a nice return there. Let's go back to Cameron Irvine in the SFL studios. He's got a game break.
Wild game, Tim, in Portland, where Seattle had a 10-3 lead, but the backup running back fumbled on the 2-yard line. Baloo Scott is hurt, and then Trellis Blanton throws right to Dale McClain. Seattle imploding. Portland back on top, 17-10 in the fourth, keeping playoff hopes alive. Back to you in San Diego.
Cam, thanks a lot. So, see, it's not just Carolina that has significant injuries, I guess. Patterson nearly does the exact same thing that we just saw. A risky pass, and Amen Eaglin nearly took it to the house himself.
And had nothing but daylight. I think he psyched himself out there. Saw the end zone, couldn't focus on the ball, couldn't haul it in. But man, what a not missed opportunity there for the Skyhawks.
Well, San Diego wasn't just watching that game break, but I'm sure the Mavericks, to some extent, wish they were still in that Pacific Division in a different alignment. If they were, they'd be in first place or at least in contention, as Patterson's throw is caught at his knees by B. Robo, his 7th catch for over 170 yards. That's insane. But if San Diego were still in that division's wide open right now, and that's why that game between 2 losing teams, Seattle and Portland, is so significant. In the division right now, San Diego's 3rd in the West behind Vegas and Arizona. Those 2 teams each only have 1 loss this year, and it seems like there's no chance for the Mavericks to come back and win that division, which they might need to do to get into the playoffs. As Suna Nakai rushes for a first down. It's just such a weird season because these 2 teams have been good. There's no question. I do think these are 2 of the better teams in the league, Steven, but again, if the playoffs started today, neither would be in, and at this point, I'm not sure you'd bank on either of these teams getting in the playoffs when they actually do start. It's not going to be easy.
And it is an absolute grind, these 14 weeks of the SFL season.
Look out, Patterson lofts it up, and Matson has another big catch. A career season for Benji Matson continues. Number 40 gets San Diego inside the Carolina 40.
And both teams just continuing to try to throw these haymakers, duking it out, trying to fight for the win here in this game. Tim, as we said, just it's so hard to compete all 14 weeks in the SFL. There's so many good teams, and there really are no weeks off. You feel like, oh well, the West is such a strong division, but it doesn't matter what division you're in really, because you got to go out and you got to just beat the opponent in front of you, and it's tough. It doesn't matter who you're facing. There's tough teams in every division.
Nakai with a gain of 4 out of the sky. That was a gain of 23 for Matson after his first catch went for 19. He has had a brilliant season. 40 catches for 417 yards and 7 touchdowns. The stat line this season for Matson, top 10 in the league in catches. He had just 16 total touchdowns over his first 5 seasons with the London Knights. He is a new man playing on the west coast of the United States. Nakai on the carry, nothing there, maybe a half yard. The 2 rush defenses have been brilliant. That's free safety Monte Wyatt with the hit.
Yeah, 19 rushing yards for the Skyhawks combined, and looking at about 40 yards rushing combined for the Mavericks. So, I mean, it's just absolutely turtle pace when it comes to the ground game right now.
And Carolina's rush defense this season has been bad. They give up the 3rd most rushing yards in the league. Not tonight. Patterson will heave it on 3rd down, and it's intercepted. Monte Wyatt has the pick right after he made the hit at the line of scrimmage, and the first takeaway of the game belongs to the Skyhawks, one of the worst takeaway teams in the league, but they strike here.
And Patterson really has been favoring that left side of the field, this time trying to find Robo on a deep post as they had that crossing route going. And Robo not able to create the separation. Wyatt was in perfect position and absolutely steals that one away from the Mavericks.
Carolina is such a unique defense. They're top 10 in the league in sacks and TFLs, but bottom 5 in the league in pass breakups and interceptions. Last in the league in takeaways, now just 13 this season. After that pick from Monte Wyatt, who has had a really good season despite all of those previous hang-ups for his team. He's now intercepted 6 passes. Of his team's 12 takeaways, he's got half of them. Offside against San Diego, their 2nd of this game. Eric Hammer guilty that time.
And Monte Wyatt definitely felt after last season, and the whole Carolina Skyhawks organization felt like Wyatt was very deserving of an all-star nod. And I think that was a little bit of fire for him. As you said, Tim, he's got over half of the team's turnovers, and he's just continuing to show that this defense would not be the same without him.
Scored his first career defensive touchdown earlier this season as well. He's had a good year. They'll run it on 1st and 5. Second 1st and 5 of this game for Carolina, and Ike McBride gives him the first down. So you're a coach, Steven. You've got a 1st and 5. You've got a running back who's known to be a bulldozer. I mean, and she gets you the first down there, so great. But, do you like the run on 1st down?
I can't fault him for it. I think if you get 2 or 3 yards, it sets up a 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3, and it's just, you got to play the numbers. You got to play the odds.
Instead, she gives him 6, and South will throw under pressure again. Another shallow route for Carolina. Chase Earl has another catch. They've all been for 6 yards or fewer. It's now his 7th grab. It's just a weird usage rate. I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like this.
And again, just super conservative. I think with their offense, I think it's smart. Again, be conservative. Let your quarterback kind of manage the game, and trust that your running backs are going to have an explosive play.
If not, though, you're right. That's got to be the game plan, especially with Matt South as your quarterback and Ike McBride as your tailback. I think that has to be your approach, but so far it's not materialized for Carolina. This run game has given them nothing.
Well, to quote, remember the Titans, it's like Novocaine. You got to give it a little time.
Try to wear down this San Diego defense. It's not a bad strategy. South will throw on 3rd down. Well covered. Looking for Earl. That would have been his longest catch of the game. No dice, and it's 4th down for Carolina.
And that's tough. You get off the field, but if you're the Mavericks, you have to be, salivating now. Your defense stepped up big for you, and you're going to get the ball back here. And, Patterson did throw that interception last drive, but they were moving down the field pretty well through the air. So I think that, Patterson has to be chomping at the bit to get back out there and correct his mistake from the last drive.
Yeah, good call. Carolina does not take advantage of the takeaway. They do not get a lot. San Diego does not give up a lot. For all of his yards and for all of his pass attempts, Scar Patterson does not throw many interceptions. Just 17, now 18 this season. That is top 10 fewest in the league, and 5 of those interceptions came last week against Baltimore, which is, quite probably once again the best team in the league. San Diego is 5-4 this season. They started 3-0 and since have gone 2-4. They've lost their last 2, but those 2 games were against Baltimore and Arizona, 2 teams that have combined for just 2 losses, and will face off in the game of the regular season on Monday night. Mateo Privado with the carry. He gets about 6. And so San Diego, their only win this season, they've got 5, but their only win against a team that's better than 500 right now came in week 1 against London. They've got 5 wins as well. Their other losses this season, they've got 4 total, are against Canton and Las Vegas. So between the teams that they've lost to, those teams have combined for 8 losses this season. They're the number 2 team in strength of defeat. They have lost to pretty much only the best teams in the league, and Canton, it must be said, as there's nothing there for Nakai. But other than Canton, I think the argument, Steven, is that the other 3 teams that San Diego has lost to, Vegas, Baltimore, and Arizona, they might be the 3 best teams in the league. San Diego hasn't been able to beat any of them, but they've beaten everybody else, and they're in the mix.
Yeah, not many people are able to beat those 3 teams that San Diego has lost to. So again, no shade thrown, but it's a tough uphill battle. But if you want to be taken seriously in the league, you got to find a way to beat some of the teams that are considered the top teams in the league.
Nakai can't find a way to the first down. He gets pile-driven by veteran cornerback Tristan Hatley. That was a great hit, and it's 4th and 1. San Diego will have to punt.
And Carolina did a phenomenal job there, forcing a 3 and out. After the takeaway, your offense kind of flops, but your defense shows up big, makes the Mavericks punt after a quick 3 and out. And now the Skyhawks really, I think they're kind of hurting without Prasad on the field, as that was him. So Prasad's going to be back out here now, Tim. So maybe we'll see a resurgence in the Skyhawks offenses. Since Prasad went down, they really have kind of struggled offensively to get moving.
You make a great point. They've struggled in special teams and especially on offense. Again, Harish is really their number 3 wide receiver this year. He's a former standout wide receiver in this league, but he was off to a brilliant start offensively. 3 catches for 29 yards and looked sharp. And he is now back in the mix, though not on the field here, as South will throw for Ike McBride. And a good hit for McBride. Freddie Trammell gets the best of her that time.
And the Mavericks are just putting Trammell out there in these one-on-one situations with McBride, and he is still absolutely delivering. That is not an easy task to bring down Ike McBride in the open field, and Trammell's had 2 opportunities and 100% so far.
Both the team leader in tackles and pass breakups this season as a middle linebacker. McBride tries to go up the middle, nothing doing once again. Look at that. 1.5 yards per carry for McBride. She usually averages 4.5 yards per carry. She's a nothing going today.
And I know that's going to frustrate her. This is not the kind of performance that she expects from herself. And I know she's looking to take that aggression out on somebody. She's probably calling for the ball right here on 3rd and 8.
She's well equipped to give it to him, but they will throw it. Short throw from South. Another catch for Earl. Once again, it goes for 6, but they needed 8 yards, Steven. A great hit from San Diego. That's outside linebacker Jeff Gagne, former middle linebacker, moves to the outside here with San Diego. He makes the hit. It's another 4th down.
Carolina not wanting to press the issue here. I think that they're content to go with their game plan. I think that they're going to continue to try to get ahead of the sticks early and use their running backs later past the 50s. I think that they're going to stick with that recipe for now. Is they're only down 7. If they can find a way somehow to spring an Ike McBride run, they're right back in this game, Tim. I'm not going to question their game plan yet.
Dave Axis averages 6.5 yards per punt return, which is 5th best in the league, and he beats out that average there. That was a great return, and San Diego will start their own 39. Carolina, you'll remember they converted 2 3rd downs on their first drive that they scored their touchdown on. Since then, after going 2 of 2 on their first drive, they are 1 of 7, including 0 of 3 here in the second half. Can Patterson take advantage? No, he cannot. Carolina gets to him immediately. Phil Hall has had another brilliant season. That brings his season total up to 7.5 sacks, and a strong way to end the 3rd quarter for the Skyhawks. But it's still San Diego in front, 17-10. with 1 quarter still to play. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. On second down, Patterson's throw behind his target. That was Mundavi, and broken up by Lincoln Kingseed. To explore the library and find the perfect tracks for your project, visit apmmusic.com. Well, that's the soundtrack of a great start to this 4th quarter for Carolina. Alongside Stephen Hacker, I'm Tim Hackett. It's been as good of a game as I expected, Stephen. San Diego leads by 7.
Yeah, both of these teams fighting like their lives depend on it right now, and couldn't have asked for a better Saturday night match.
And realistically, their playoff lives do matter right now. 3rd down and 14. Patterson is intercepted by Wyatt for the 2nd time, and Wyatt takes Carolina across midfield. 7 picks now this season, more than half of Carolina's season total, and another clutch takeaway by the league's worst takeaway team.
Yeah, and you can see the difference in aggression here, Tim, as Carolina is continuing to stick with these short intermediate routes. They seem to be okay with 3 plays and punting the ball away, where San Diego is not so content with that. They're trying to stretch the field, but these risky plays are giving Carolina opportunities. Now they're starting out on the Mavericks 44-yard line here.
Dead last in the league in takeaways before this week. McBride has absolutely nothing doing. No gain on that play. She was telling us before the game, Stephen, Ike McBride, that she and Sudo Nakai have an unofficial official bet today that whichever running back has more yards owes the other a meal. And I don't know what happens if the bet is a push, because unofficially right now, McBride has 19 rushing yards and Nakai has 19 rushing yards. How about that as an underlying storyline? South hit as he throws, just barely gets it away. Bum rushed immediately and hit by Eric Hammer.
Well, if it's a push, I think the punishment should be even worse, and they should have to eat a whole plate of spinach or something. Whatever it is that they hate the most, that's what they should be forced to eat if it's a push. Because I don't know. I think I would rather lose than tie. I don't know, but I think that's just how I am. I don't know if I like tying very much. I think I would rather lose.
That's not the Fort Worth motto this season. You guys have done a lot more winning than losing.
Hey, you got to pay your dues. You got to take some losses to earn some W's, man.
High snap, South's throw into traffic. That's Prasad, his first target since his return. And down the field is Freddie Trammell, who has been all over this game. Run defense, short pass defense, now flashing out in deep pass defense, and another failed 3rd down for Carolina. They've been brutal on these chances recently.
Yeah, again, you're getting these opportunities. You're taking the ball away from the Mavericks, but it's just not really leading to anything. The struggles on the ground on the running game are continuing for the Skyhawks, and it's getting pretty tough. I think at some point the pressure is going to come down onto Matt South, and his arm is going to be forced to make a play. As we're into the 4th quarter now, and Ike McBride and Hattori Hanzo are really struggling. So I think it's time now for the Skyhawks to really start unleashing the arm of Matt South if they want to push their way back into this game.
On the season, Carolina has the 5th best 3rd down percentage, 60%. Today, they're 30%. San Diego, though, 5th best 3rd down defense. So far, advantage Mavericks. Patterson off of that interception doesn't come back to bite him again, so he will take a quick swing and link up with Dave Axis for a gain of 6. This is the 3rd season with Scar Patterson at the helm of the Maverick controls, and the breakdowns for this offense have been interesting. Season 18, they were 2nd in the league in passing yards, 4th in total yards. Season 19, famously 1st in the SFL in passing yards and 1st in total yards. This season, 13th and 12th. So San Diego very much in the middle of the pack. But they get Carolina to jump offside, and so Patterson on a free play hooks up with Eagle Mundavi for a 1st down, and the flag won't matter.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of extra, and Patterson saw the flag, so he knew he could take a shot down the field and finds Mundavi. And Monte Wyatt, again, just continuing to show his ball hawking ability from the free safety spot, comes all the way over, playing in the middle, playing center field there, comes over to the left side of the field to make a play. Absolutely ball hawking safety for the Skyhawks right now.
That's Ryan Ray, guilty of the infraction. We've got him credited for 4 total tackles in this game. He had just 15 all season before today, and of those 15 tackles, 8 of them went for a loss. That's a pretty impressive clip for a defensive end in this league. So count the play. 3rd catch of the day from Mondavi. That one went for 13. Patterson with a dime, high throw, and it's hauled in. He was wide open. He had to jump up to make that catch. That's Adam Williams. Ill-used number 2 tight end, but an absolute bomb on a tight end streak.
Yeah, and that was a nice job by Patterson. 1, 2, 3, get rid of the ball as Williams was wide open there. Had to go up, like you said, a little bit of a high throw there, but Williams is such a large target that it doesn't matter. Able to easily go up and grab that one and get a first down for the Mavericks.
He was an all-star in his last season with Lone Star, season 18. Took last season off, and he's back to be the number 2 tight end behind Benji Matson. As we already said, Benji's having a career year. Just the 18th catch this season for Williams. Deep drop, deep throw for Patterson. Intercepted again. Too far this time for Robo, and Davidson Joseph has the takeaway. Finally.
And that's the kind of play that the Skyhawks expect Davidson Joseph to make. Brought him on as a rookie and have just watched him develop and climb the ladder as a defensive back for this team, and he absolutely steals one away from the Mavericks there. Patterson, Tim, go ahead, Tim, sorry.
I was going to say, would you believe that's Davidson Joseph's first interception this season?
I would not believe that, but you're telling me it's true, so I'm going to go with it.
Hey, I've got a lot wrong, but I don't have that one wrong. I promise you. Nice run on first down there for McBride. Again, Carolina has struggled to take the ball away this season. If you're watching this game, you wouldn't believe it. Patterson does not throw a lot of interceptions, just 12 entering last week, and now over the last 2 weeks, 8 interceptions thrown. It's just not what he does. Carolina 0 for 2 on the first Patterson giveaways. Can they make this one count? Gain of 6. South's throw behind the target, and the target was taken down. That's DeSantis on the target for Carolina, and Jeff Gagne on the coverage for San Diego.
And, man, these defenses are really clamping down. One defender gets a hand up, tries to knock it away. The other comes in, delivers an absolute crushing hit. Gagne did get a fingertip on that.
Sure did.
Great job by these defenses, really not giving any quarter to these offenses, making them earn every yard.
Halldorf had the hit, but Gagne, I thought he had the hit initially, Steven, but you were right. Gagne got a piece of it before the pass got there, so definitely no penalty. And it's 3rd down and 4 for Carolina. Can they get this to work? McBride on the carry, breaks through the hit, and has the first down. It's been a long time coming, just the second 3rd down for conversion for the Skyhawks since their first drive of the game, and a clutch time to move the chains.
And that was huge. Got a nice seal block there from Hattori Hanzo, and that's what they needed. They needed to move the chains and keep their offense on the field. They've got to find a way to score as the clock is starting to work against them with only about 8 minutes left.
First down from McBride, so South from the 30. Right on target again, another short catch for McDaniel Jr. Let's go back to Cameron Irvine with a game break.
Thanks, Tim. Stop me when you've heard this before. Seattle on the 1-yard line with a chance to make it a game and throws an interception. To be fair, the backup running back fumbled twice, and Portland holds on to win 17-10. Back to you in San Diego.
I'd never stop you, Cam, but a crazy game there. 17-10, 17-10 here as well, and down goes South. Sacked once again. This San Diego pass rush has been really good today, Stephen Hacker. Carolina does not give up many sacks at all, and Bobo Caudill has the hit that time, and it's 3rd down.
An absolute force there on the inside, just shed the blocks and absolutely leveled Matt South on that play.
Second sack allowed by Carolina. South had been sacked just 7 times prior to today. Hit as he throws, lofts it up to the sideline. Prasad makes the catch around the Lone Star coaching staff. It will be out of bounds, and now it's 4th down, and the Skyhawks will punt.
And it is getting ugly in the trenches there. Is that time Rylan Caudill able to make easy work of the offensive line and hit Matt South as he was trying to make that throw, causing it to go out of bounds, making it an uncatchable ball. So the Mavericks defense showing up big here, helping their quarterback as Scar Patterson making some errant throws, but the Mavericks defense doing exactly what they got to do here at home.
3 interceptions by this Carolina defense. Bears repeating, worst takeaway team in the SFL and 0 points off of those 3 Scar Patterson giveaways. This game, Steven, has been about as close as I would have imagined. You see San Diego, a slight favorite. They're the home team. They've got one more win on the season, yeah. So they're slight favorites at home. They were heavy favorites in our Discord Who You Got, nearly 3-1 in favor of the Mavericks. But Carolina leads the all-time series. They're 2-0. They've played every other season since season 16 and resuming this rivalry here in season 20. Nice link up from Patterson and a gain of 7 for Dave Axis. So Carolina won the first meeting in season 16. That was San Diego's first season in the league. That was a 29-17 win for Carolina, and then they matched up in season 18. That was a 36-25 win for Carolina. So a win by 12 and a win by 11 in the all-time series for Carolina, but down by 7 here, and they've trailed for the whole game. They'll pack it in. Patterson has time and will throw it short. Nice check down, exactly what the team needed, and a first down for the Mavs. Mattson has his 3rd catch.
And just to kind of go back to your last point, about the previous 2 meetings between these 2 teams, I think a big difference in this game tonight is a little bit of San Diego's commitment to the run game. They're not so pass heavy, even though the production hasn't been there. I think that whenever you're able to, incomplete pass there, I think as you're able to kind of try to balance things out like that, it really helps your team in terms of not having those 5 or 6 interception games, and you're just not as high risk. And so I think that could be a huge attribute to why San Diego currently holds a 7-point lead in this ball game.
It was knocked away by Shravan Prasad. Monte Wyatt was there as well. So 2nd down and Patterson in the shotgun, alongside Suna Nakai, the former Skyhawk back. Great snap. Patterson again, sidearm, lofts it up, and Dave Axis has another catch right past the magic yellow line. First down, San Diego. Patterson now officially over 300 passing yards in this game. Again, on pace for 3,500 for the 3rd straight season. He's been really, really good once again. But the numbers today for Patterson, not perfect. Quarterback rating under 80. Coming into today, quarterback rating over 90, one of the better ones in the league. Still has his team up by a score. Patterson's throw right on target. Robo with a step behind the defense again. Monty Wyatt's had a brilliant game, Hacker. That time, Robo got the best of him, and it's 1st and goal for San Diego.
And 2 of the better defensive backs for the Skyhawks are trailing Robo in coverage there. And again, it doesn't matter. Robo's the type of receiver that it's not a 50-50 ball. It's one that he feels confident he's going to go up and win every time. And 8 of 8, 206 yards, just an absolute wide receiver clinic put on here today.
Number 88 for San Diego is having a number 88 for Fort Worth type of day. And close to 1,000 receiving yards this season after his performance tonight. Here's Nakai. Can't get anything going, maybe a gain of 1. So Robo before today, 780 receiving yards. You just saw unofficially 206 receiving yards tonight. So he's 14 yards away from 1,000, and this is just game number 10 for San Diego. Unreal. It would be his 3rd straight campaign over 1,000. Mavericks taking their time now here. This is smart. They'll run it with Nakai, and Carolina will stop it once again. Another hit. That's Shravan Prasad, the veteran outside linebacker, his 10th season now as part of the ownership group and the linebacking group here for Carolina. Nothing doing for Pseudo.
And if I'm in the headset of Scar Patterson right now, I'm saying, where is 33? You need to find 33 pre-snap and avoid him at all costs.
No kidding. Wyatt, 33 for Carolina. Already 2 takeaways today. 3rd and goal. Patterson's going to throw. Pump fake and gets hit. Carolina dials up the pressure and drops Patterson once again. 2nd sack today for the Skyhawks. That's Christopher Colon, another league veteran. Brings his season total up to 5. and that'll bring this Maverick drive to an end.
Fantastic job in coverage by the Skyhawks defensive backs, allowing Christopher Colon to get in there and get that sack, forcing the Mavericks to try to attempt a field goal here. And 3.5 minutes, Tim, the Skyhawks, they have to sell out for a blocked field goal attempt here. They have to sell out and try to get this thing blocked to keep points off the board for the Mavericks.
I was about to say the same thing, but remember, San Diego has a rookie kicker in Prince Beard, and he has had a dismal season. He has missed 5 field goals already this year. Poor snap, and the kick from Beard is good. No problem for the rookie tonight. He's 2 of 2, and San Diego goes up by 2 scores.
And they gave him the time. There was a miscommunication on the snap and hold, and a little bit of a delay getting the kick off, but the blocking holds up, and it's now a 10-point lead for the Mavericks. And Carolina has to be feeling the pressure. These 5 to 10 yard throws from Matt South, they're going to have to start looking at something else here, Tim. They've got to get down the field in a hurry and put some points up.
Backup quarterback Kyle Rookie playing like Kyle Veteran, able to steady that snap and allow Prince Beard to hit his 2nd field goal of the day. I mean, to your point, Steven, I think you were right on as usual. It feels like a win initially for Carolina. You get a sack on 3rd down, you force a field goal, you keep San Diego out of the end zone. Yeah, that's all good. You had to do that. But San Diego still firmly in the driver's seat in this game. Since Beard hit that field goal, they're up by 10 with only 3 minutes left. No issues with the timeouts in this half. Carolina's got the full allotment. Matt South with his biggest throw of the day, and it's hauled in by Chase Earl. His longest catch before that was 6 yards, and that's going to get Carolina across midfield. Unreal. South will throw again. That was risky, and it's intercepted. A brilliant throw from South, canceled out by his worst throw of the night. Right to Tanner Hendricks, the 10th season veteran, and the first takeaway tonight for the Mavericks could doom Carolina's chances at the playoffs.
First off, fantastic coverage by Tanner Hendricks. Man coverage right on the outside hip of the receiver. Once he saw the ball was released, he just cut in front of him, stole that one away. Great job by the defense. But Matt South, just the Carolina has to be feeling it right now. Just so much frustration that I felt like they snapped the ball a little too quickly there, and that's what led to the bad throw.
Patterson hands it off. Suno Nakai with his best run in quite a while. Give him just about 6. Not quite his longest run of the day, but a clutch time for Nakai. And San Diego doesn't have to snap it before the 2-minute warning now.
And can definitely take their time in the huddle. Maybe talk about all their favorite plays from this game as they've played very well. Scar Patterson has made some mistakes, but continuing to show the confidence that this franchise committed. Hey, you're our guy, and he continues to come out every week and show that they're not wrong for believing in his arm strength and his arm talent. He is absolutely putting on a clinic and does a great job every week for this offense.
Led beautifully by San Diego, and we've hit the 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter. This is the SFL presented by APM Music, live on YouTube. The Mavericks have been in pole position all evening long, trying to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. Already the best season in franchise history, 5 wins. Their previous franchise high was 4. They did that twice, and on pace to secure at least their first 500 season in franchise history, as Nakai with a couple of spin moves gets stuck a yard short of the sticks by Lincoln Kingseed, and Carolina will use its first timeout.
So I'm trying to think of pathways that Carolina has a shot at turning this thing around, and I just happened to look over and I saw that Pseudo has like 3 fumbles on the season, and that's quite a bit to only be in week 11. So I mean, maybe that if they want something a miracle, yeah,
and that could be as close to a miracle as possible. Steven, they give it to Bravado on 3rd and 1. Normally easy money for this offense, but Shrevin Prasad with the hit 1-on-1 against Bravado, and they mark him short.
Oh, man, yeah, and if I'm San Diego, I just, get rid of this and try to pin Carolina as far back as possible. You have to have a great punt here. Haven't had one all game, so maybe this is the time.
I figured we may see our third challenge of the half of this game, rather. You're inside of 2 minutes, so it would have been a booth review. Sometimes you go whole weekends without seeing 3 challenges. And so
That's
Lone
not
Star,
gonna do it.
nope, and that carries Stuart Zomelia into the end zone for the second time. He had a tough go of it that time. The first time, maybe he could have done better. That time, nothing he could have done about it. And Carolina will start off from the 20 with 1 timeout left.
Yeah, you really need that punt to hit at about the 10, 11-yard line to get a good bounce. And that one landed about the 7. That was just a little too close to the end zone.
Carolina is number 2 in the league in strength of schedule. Their opponents are 40-30 to this point of the season. South under siege, and South goes south. Hit once again, 3rd sack by San Diego. Carolina back to the line, but not very quickly. 90 seconds left. South throws caught by Earl, and Earl goes down. Touchdown after a gain of about 6, and it's 3rd down and 11.
Unfortunate that you had to use the timeout, but that was the proper decision there, if you ask me. You weren't in a good enough set. You're going to have to go rapid fire here. Let's get into a formation where we got maybe 4 wide receivers on the field and give ourselves a fighting chance.
7th sack this season for Eric Hammer. He had 6.5 in his career before this year. 3rd and 11. South under duress again, and down he goes again. Bobo Caudill has his 2nd sack. And one of the best pass-protecting teams in the SFL has been waylaid here on the most critical drive of the game. It's 4th and 20.
And I was scared for Matt South's career there, as 350 pounds barreling down on the quarterback. You got to protect him.
And San Diego's going to jump offside. South gets absolutely smacked again. In hockey, Steven, we call that taking a hit to make a play. That's Caudill with the hit again, but San Diego does jump offside for the 3rd time, and Carolina's going to have another chance.
Yeah, and I think that Carolina really they need to take a breath. I think that their frustration is showing on the field right now, and I think that they need to regroup themselves. Their offensive line needs to collect themselves, keep their quarterback upright, and give them a chance to take a shot down the field.
You never like to take penalties, but if you're going to say, all right, we're going to take a penalty in this game, this is the situation you would choose. Free 5 yards for Carolina. It does stop the clock. And now from the 15-yard line. South running for his life, throws it short, and it's swatted away again. And that was 4th down and 15. That will be the ball game. Tom Krieg, first time we're calling his name today, Stephen. One of the few holdovers on this San Diego team from their season a year ago. He'll get credit for that pass breakup. Earl was already on the turf, and San Diego's going to survive.
And will survive and keep their playoff dreams alive. Carolina really, with the loss here, looking at their schedule, they have a bit of a gauntlet, Tim. Coming up, they still have Baltimore on the slate, and that's a tough one, Tim. I mean, their path to the playoffs has really gotten muddy now, and the Skyhawks just need to continue to fight. For San Diego, they have to be feeling like, man, we need Vegas and Arizona to maybe take a bit of a slide here. And I don't know what the right way for San Diego is right now, but I imagine they want their strength of victory to go up, and anything they can do to try to get into that wild card spot, because as it sits right now, Vegas and Arizona have got the West locked up.
San Diego's number 24 in strength of victory in a 28-team league before today. That will go up, because this is not, as they say, Stephen, this is not your grandfather's Carolina team. It's not your father's Carolina team. It's not even your older brother's Carolina Skyhawks team. This is potentially the best team in franchise history, and they're going to come up short, but they've got a chance to go 500 or better for the 2nd straight season, but it won't be good enough tonight. San Diego survives. They add to their franchise record. They have secured a 500 record for the first time ever, and the Mavericks' path to the postseason remains open. San Diego grounds the Skyhawks. Your final: Mavericks 20, Skyhawks 10.
Yeah, really, really impressive, and just again, want to kind of key on some of the things you said about the Skyhawks, as I really believe in what their franchise is doing. Harish and Shravan, the owners, are great people. They brought in a great coach, Hattori Hanzo or Shan Barner, doing a great job there, and they also have a great GM in Skippy Curtis. So they've got all the right pieces. They've got a team that believes in their vision and what they're doing. So their arrow is pointing up. San Diego, congratulations, big win. You guys are doing everything that you need to do to keep yourselves alive and in the picture. Super excited about what you guys have to offer. Love to see that Scar Patterson's still, just slinging the rock around, doing what he needs to be doing. But the biggest thing for them, moving forward, is they're going to have to win out. They got to win these games to do what they got to do to give themselves a shot. Again, I think the strength of victory for San Diego is their best pathway to get in.
You mentioned it a minute ago, and Cameron Irvine was telling us before the show, Stephen, San Diego has to keep winning to have a chance. They're now 6-4. You figure you got to be at least 7-5 to have a chance, but their strength of victory is very low, and we know in this league that is the tie-breaking stat that means the most. So they need to keep winning, and they're going to need some help. For Carolina, the doorway has pretty much been slammed shut here in season 20, but again, they were 6-6 last year. That's just their second time as Carolina that they've been 500 or better. They still very well could get to that mark again as their arrow continues to point up, like you said. A brilliant day for B. Robo, north of 200 yards. He's just under 1,000 yards now with 2 games left to go. Stephen Hacker, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts. Apparently, the price difference of a steak is 3 yards, because that's what it took for Ike McBride to win a steak from Pseudo Nakai. 32 yards, tops to 29 rushing yards, and Ike McBride's going to be getting a free steak for it. Congratulations, Ike.
And Pseudo does get the last laugh against his former team, however, and San Diego defeats Carolina for the first time in franchise history, and they've got 6 wins for the first time in franchise history. That's going to do it for us here in the SFL on this Saturday night. Bunch more games coming your way tomorrow. We'll see you then. For Ike McBride, Zach Caldorf, Cameron Irvine, and my friend Stephen Hacker, I've been Tim Hackett. We'll see you next time. Until then, so long.